Check this.
What's up, guys? This is Roy from Team Nonstop Gaming, and I'm posting today my deck profile for GOAT format. Now, admittedly, I haven't really played a lot of GOAT format since back when GOAT format was really GOAT format. So, I'd like any intel you have about my deck. It is a Chaos Control build. Let me know what you guys think. Dale Bolito, if you see this, big shout out to you. I'm a huge fan from back in the day. And anyways, let's get down to the deck profile. Blackluster Soldier, the main beat stick of the deck, the biggest monster that you can play. And basically, his effect, if you don't know it, basically attack a monster and get a second attack, or summon it and banish a card. Since this deck is GOAT format, you have priority, so you can special summon this, and if your opponent tries to torrential or anything, you can you can use priority to banish with his effect. The olden days were kind of scary time for Yu-Gi-Oh! Chaos Sorcerer, basically a mini version of Blackluster Soldier. Instead of the get to attack twice, you get to just banish a face-up monster on the field. Which, in case you couldn't tell, this deck is a Chaos Control variant, so that's it for the Chaos monsters. We're also playing Air Knight Parshath for fighting against goats. Basically, inflict piercing damage and draw cards. And instead of a second Air Knight, I decided to play Zabor to get some popping in. Pop some big monsters if they have a Blackluster Soldier or any monster that could be a real threat. Zabor can handle it. And because I'm playing Chaos, I figured Thunder Dragons to help get them more lights in the graveyard. That's it for the big monsters. Basic Thunder Dragon, discard a Thunder Dragon, add another Thunder Dragon or two. With the Lincoln Duo and Graceful Charity being in the format, you want to have more cards in your hand, so usually you discard one to search the two. Next, we have smaller monsters, which are 2 Dokoichi, Battle Chain, and Locomotive. Now, I have had these since the original GOAT format, as I have been playing this game since the beginning. And I've always loved this card. I wish it could still be viable today in the meta, but it's too bad I can't. But yeah, Dokoichi, when it's flip face up, you get to draw a card. Great dark monster. Puts darks in the grave, draw cards. Helps with consistency. 2 Gravekeeper Spy. Now, my previous builds, I'd be going 2 Spy, 1 Guard, but I couldn't find a Guard for some reason through all my bulk that I've been checking. But I found 2 Spy, and it's just a good defense. It helps you protect against Air Knight, and if your opponent's playing Azure Priest, you can't run over this with Azure Priest, so it helps you kind of put up a wall, buy yourself time if you need time. 2 Magician of Faith. I've seen people play 3, and I don't like it just because Nobleman of Crossout is out there, and if you hit theirs with a Nobleman of Crossout, you lose yours. And if they hit yours, just more copies that you can lose, so I just prefer. Another reason why I'm playing Spy is something else for them to hit. Oh yeah, I forgot to say what they do. Gravekeeper Spy special summons a Gravekeeper from your deck. And Magician of Faith, if you don't know, because it hasn't been very meta relevant, so unless you get a spell card back from your graveyard to your hand. 1 Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer, mainly in here to fight against Chaos variants, because if you're able to bring this out first turn and have some kind of protection, usually he will stick around, and while he's on the field, your opponent can't banish monsters to summon Chaos monsters, as well as if this guy inflicts battle damage to your opponent's or if this guy inflicts damage, you get to banish a couple monsters from your opponent's graveyard. 1 Azure Priest, attack all their monsters. It's really good in clearing out goats for goat control, because that card can be so... Skiko is just really good. 1 DD Warrior Lady, banishing monsters that attack it, as well as possible Nobleman of Crossout target. So, as long as they don't hit one of your flip effect monsters, like your Faith or your Dekoichi, you're happy. 1 Breaker the Magical Warrior, because spell destruction was pretty light back then. You only had cards like Dust Tornado, Heavy Storm, Breaker, and Mystical Space Typhoon at 1. So, and his effect is basically, you can, when he's summoned, you get a counter, add the counter to him, and then remove the counter, destroy a spell or trap card. Then we have Tsukiyomi to flip face up monsters face down. I'm only playing 1 because I didn't see the need in playing 2, as I'm playing kind of a low flip effect amount, as well as I am playing Book of Moon in my main. So I just figured 1 was probably good enough. Now for the next monsters. 1 Sangan, because we all need Sangan in our lives. Searches basically everything good in the deck. 1 Knight Assailant, because I only have 1 Knight Assailant in everything I have checked. So, and then for the power 1-ofs, the Tribe Infecting Virus, for discarding a card and destroying multiple monsters depending on the types, and Sinister Serpent, because it comes back during every standby phase. Remember, this Go format, we're not going by the new print that's on this. It returns during the standby phase to the owner's hand. And the reason for Knight Assailant is when it's discarded, you can bring any of your flip effect monsters back, whether it's Dekoichi, Magician of Faith, Spy. A lot of good targets. Usually you play 2, but as I said, I can't find another one. Also, it's not too bad on its own. When it's flip face up, it can destroy a monster. Let's get to the spells. Now, as I said, I am playing Book of Moon. I am playing 3. As I'm also playing 2 Noblemen of Crossout, I figured easy way to get rid of big beaters or monsters that are troublesome. Noblemen of Crossout, Book of Moon. It really does suck sometimes when you Noblemen of Crossout a card on their board, and it just happens to be the Dekoichi or the Magician of Faith. But that dwindles down their resources and yours. But if you have one in your hand, I guess you're kind of Gucci, as they say. But Book of Moon, flip a monster on your opponent's side of the field or your side of the field face down in defense position. Allows you to abuse your own flip effects as well as weaken your opponent's board. Nobleman of Crossout, target a face down defense position monster, banish it, and all copies of it in both players' decks and graveyards. Now for the Holy Trinity. Delinquent Duo, Pot of Greed, and Graceful Charity. Discard 2. Basically, this card basically just discards 2 cards from your opponent's hand, 1 that they select and 1 at random. However, you have to pay 1,000 life points. Pot of Greed. Nobody knows what this card does, but you play it anyways. I mean, that writing is just so difficult to read. And of course, Graceful Charity, drawing 3 cards, discard 2. You only really want to use this when you have Sinister Serpent or an extra Thunder Dragon in hand, as it basically makes this card free. I know there's been, Dale Bolito has been posting on the GOAT format website, which I'll leave a link in the description below, about how sometimes you should be waiting to hold off on certain cards. Like I've seen in matches that he won't activate this on the first turn, or same with Graceful Charity. He'll find a better reason or a better time to. And Delinquent Duo right now against the Thunder matchup, it's not that great if you're using it going second, because by that point they might have a Thunder Dragon in hand, they might have a Sinister Serpent, in which case they're not really losing very much. Graceful Charity, you want to hold on to that for the same reason that you want to have an extra Thunder Dragon or an extra Sinister Serpent. And now for the last spells, we have Mystical Space Typhoon, Snatch Steel, and Heavy Storm. And as everybody loves to bring up at locals, this card was so good to set as a bluff back in the day, so which we have seen if you have checked out Mario's scope format video. He and Ryan were talking about how Dale used to do that back then. The Dale Bolito set the Heavy Storm. So there's always that you can do, a lot of mind games. Now I am playing a rather high amount of traps, I believe. I feel it's high anyways. I'm not used to playing this many trap cards. 3 Compulse, because you want to bounce anything that your opponent could use against you to their hand. And it helps defend your monsters. It helps to protect you from Noblemen of Crossout if you need to be. It can open their board up so that you can kill them. This is really good. I prefer this over Sakuretsu Armor, although Sakuretsu Armor gets rid of their monsters right away. This card just bounce. And for the final 3, all staples, Torrential Tribute, Mirror Force, and Ring of Destruction. Now, your opponent summons, usually you wait until basically they're getting like a -3 from this. A -2 or a -3 unless if they're able to kill you. Mirror Force also the same, you wait because it's a 1-of now. This GOAT format is very particular about controlling your resources and protecting yourself. So, and that is it for the main deck. We'll get down to the extra deck, although I'll admit I do not have Metamorphosis, so I am not currently using any of these cards, but they are all GOAT format must-haves. Now, I am playing 2 Ryu Senshi. I'm sorry if my extra deck seems kind of weird. Even to me, it seems a little weird. But 1 Gatling Dragon, 1 Dark Paladin, 1 Black Skull Dragon, because I really wanted to, 1 King Dragon, 1 Fiend Skull Dragon, 1 Dark Flare Knight, 1 Reaper of the Nightmare, 1 Carbonala Warrior, 1 Dragonus the Wicked Knight, and for the last ones, let's go with something a little special here. 2 Dark Balter the Terrible, and because I'm not playing Metamorphosis, this is not what it would look like if I was playing like GOAT Control. 2 Thousand Eyes Restrict. That is it for the extra deck. Now, for starters, as I said, Xerion Universe. There's a lot of controversy on whether or not it's allowed, but if it is allowed, I'll play it. If it's not, that's why it's in the side deck. Because if it's not playable, I won't use it, and all depends on the people, right? 1 Thessalos for if you're going first. Wow, there is a good glare coming from that. 1 Thessalos, discard a random card from your opponent's hand. Never know, you could get lucky or it could be a Sinister. 1 Jinzo to stop your opponent. It's trap cards, mainly using it if you're playing against a burn deck or anything really annoying like that. Now these are 2 things I thought were kind of interesting I wanted to try out. So, 2 Legendary Jiu-Jitsu Masters. Now basically, it's just a monster that you want to have set, them attack, and then bounces their monster back to the hand. Sorry, owner's deck. Bounces it back to the top of the owner's deck. Yeah. I usually side this in the case if I'm playing against a really aggressive deck. I'll side those in and take out the spies. The 3rd Azura Priest for goats. Second Tsukiyomi for Goat. A Card Destruction for fun. 2 Solemn Judgment for saying no. Originally it was in the main deck, but I just kind of switched it out. I like the compulses more. 2 Dust Tornado to say good no to back row decks. And 1 Trap Dust Shoot, as that's the only one I had, so I'm not maining decking it. Anyways, that is it. I'll see you in a moment. Alright, so that was the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed it. It was really fun to make. I'm currently working on another build. Just gotta work a few things out. But we'll see how well it goes. Anyways, this is Roy from Team Nonstop Gaming, and if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, anything you want. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Stay safe. Have a great day. Peace out.